Are you someone who is looking for more meaning, more fulfillment in your career, but maybe feeling like nobody in your immediate circle really understands what's going on for you? If this is you, please continue to listen, and this video is exactly for you. Before I get into the content of today's video, I do want to share that I have created a free guide on how to create a professional life that you love. I am putting it in the link and a link below in my description. And it contains 5 steps that I actually walk through with clients in my one-on-one coaching program. It also contains common mistakes, that people make when they're making a career transition. And, mistakes are going to happen. So I don't want you to think that, oh my gosh, we can't make mistakes in this process, but they're just ones that seem to come up a lot for people. And so I've also put some of those in there. So to, try to help you along the path and not making some of the mistakes that, certainly I know I made, because let me tell you, I made all of them, I think. And also, what I see when working with my clients. So again, I'm going to put the link in the description below. So in today's video, what I really want to cover is what is going on with a person who is thinking they want more fulfillment and purpose in their career. Because what I have learned through my own experience, as well as, again, coaching people in this process, is there's just a number of experiences and feelings that people feel when they're in this stage of their career and in their life. And there are often times where there may not be people around you who are not in that same position. So it can be really hard for people to relate to what you're going through. And so I am going to list some of the most traits, qualities, experiences, and feelings you might be feeling. But first, I want to mention that, I think when we're going through a change and we're wanting to create something new or we're having some confused feelings, we sometimes want to reach out and have a conversation with somebody or share our feelings and just kind of work through some of the stuff that's going on. And what can happen, and this doesn't happen to everybody, but it happens a lot, is that you share it with somebody and they don't get it. They're like, well, what's wrong with your current career? Like, you've done really well. You invested a lot of time in that. Like, you're making good money. You're not going to make that again. Like, there's a lot of stuff that can come out. And that can be really hard to hear. And here's the thing. People project their own stuff onto us. We all do this to each other, right? We project onto each other our own fears, our own insecurities, where we are in life. And so what that person could very well be doing, and coming from a loving place, they certainly could be, but they're projecting their own fears and insecurities onto you. But that can really lower your confidence. It can really just not help you at all in this process. And so if that is you and you've told a few people and you're not getting support or kind of response that you are hoping for, just understand, first of all, this is normal. This happens to a lot of people. I cannot tell you how many times this happened with me. I mean, I got so many people kind of looking at me like I was crazy. Like, why would you do this? I had a career as a successful CPA. Like, why would you throw that away? You worked hard for that designation. I mean, you name it. I heard everything, right? And so, first of all, no, this is common. This is going to happen. And second of all, it might mean you just need to keep these things a little closer to your chest. Just hold your cards a little closer and not tell everybody. And that's a lot of the purpose of this video. So when I share what other people have experienced, and you can kind of go, okay, this is normal. This is what happens. This is what we go through. And, I think we've changed a lot in the last year as a society. Last year, we had the Great Resignation start. It's still going on. This year, quiet quitting is becoming more talked about. So I think we're starting to talk about more openly that people want more. They really do want more fulfillment. They don't want to struggle so much. They don't want to become somebody else when they go to work or in their career. So I think it's improving, and I'm really optimistic, and I'm really happy to see this, because when I made my shift, this wasn't talked about at all. I felt like I was just so random and out there. So I think it's really good. We're moving in the right direction, which is, why more and more people are wanting to make a change. So just to know that if you don't have people in your circle, like I said, it might be time to keep things a little bit closer, but let's hope that it's moving in the right direction so we can start talking about this, because that's really how we move forward. So next, I want to share the experiences and what people tell me, and again, what I experienced. And I've got 6 things that I've come up with. There are more than 6 certainly out there, but I just wanted to give you just an idea, and there's variations of, how you might be feeling around this. Now, the first thing, pretty much everyone tells me is it's like there's this nudge. It's like there's this voice inside of them somewhere that just says, you're not reaching your full potential. Like you're just not there. There's something else. The people I work with don't know what that something else is. They haven't got a clue. And that's okay. That's why people end up working with me, so we can actually get that crystal clarity and start working towards that. But it's just this feeling of, I'm just not in the right place. And like I said, it's usually follow up with, but I don't know what the place is. And the nudge doesn't go away. There may be days, weeks, months where it quietens down a little bit. Maybe life gets busy, whatever. But it doesn't actually really ever go away. It's this ever constant feeling. It's like your soul is trying to say to you, there's something more for you out there. Start looking, start walking towards something, right? And the more years that go by, the harder that can be to deal with, to be honest with you. The longer we don't listen to that, because that's what's happened with me. I can tell you that from personal experience and from working with people. The longer we actually leave it, the more inner conflict and doubt that we actually start to manifest and start to create in ourselves. So the sooner we listen to that, the better. But, it's have grace with yourself within that, right? If you've been feeling this way for a long time and you've been ignoring it, you know what? We learn through experience, right? Second thing I want to talk about is everybody is scared. There's not one person I talk to, not one, who isn't scared. And what I find really actually kind of liberating and kind of beautiful at the same time, how people are willing to actually admit to that. And I think that's really empowering. You might think, well, so we're scared, so we admit it. When we start to voice some of our fears out loud, we can start to dismantle them and really get into them. The common fears are, around the logistics. How am I going to do this? What am I going to do? How am I going to make money doing this? Sort of all those really sort of what I call like 3D, 3-dimensional. How am I going to make this work? Like, how do I do this? Like just that whole piece around fear, and how do I make money? Really is a lot of it what it comes down to. And what am I going to do? Right? Which is again why I work with people. The third one, it's also about fear, but this is more a fear about, what if I don't get it? Like, what if I do this work? What if I pick something and it's not it? And first of all, I want to say, if you don't do enough work on the front end in understanding yourself, how you operate, and really do that inner work, first of all, there is a chance this is going to happen. So first of all, I want to put that out there. Like, this is, a lot of these fears, they're real, and it's really about just mitigating them. Okay, so what is the fear and how do we deal with it? So knowing that, yes, you do actually have to do some work around understanding yourself. Why haven't you enjoyed things so far? What is it about what you've been doing that you don't enjoy? And therefore the flip side, what do you enjoy? What do you need to feel fulfilled? What is the mission? What is the influence? What kind of impact do you want to have, not only on yourself, but maybe in the world in general? I mean, there's a lot of questions. And so just to say, if you feel like, I'm not going to get it right, that could also be a sign that you need to do some more inner work and ask yourself some deeper questions. But what I also want to say around that is, although you do get it, you figure it out in some way, it continues to evolve. It's not like you get it and it's like, that's it, I'm done, I figured it out, we're all good, everything's just gonna, it's not really how it goes. It's a continual evolution, because the more you step into something, the more you come into alignment, it starts to expand and grow, and you grow and adapt in beautiful ways. And that's really one of the greatest experiences about actually, finding something that's more in alignment with you, is you really start to change, and it feels, it's a really good change when you just feel like you're connecting more with you. And the more you connect with you, the more you get in alignment with you, the more that starts to come out, and what you create and what you do continues to evolve. But it's really about getting off the path that you are not in alignment with. That's the first step. Just getting off that path. If you're on a trajectory right now where you are not on the right path, it's important first step is to get on that new path, and it will continue to evolve. And that's what it really comes down to. It's a continual evolution. We get more clarity as we take more steps. I think sometimes we think we're going to get this message, it's going to be dropped out of the sky, that what it is. And I think there's this hope, right? There's this hope that it's going to be like that. It might be for some people. In my experience, it's not the way it goes. It's just not. Although I will say that when you do kind of get that piece of clarity, it does make sense, almost like it was a message. It's kind of like, oh, why didn't I see that? Because it is kind of in some ways right in front of us. We just don't see it, right? So the fourth thing I want to mention is that most people who are in this want immediate results. They want to see a shift right away. And, shifts can happen pretty quickly. But what I want to dig deeper on this one is why. Why do we want to see, it right away? Is because we're looking for some sort of validation, some sort of confirmation that we've picked the right path. And so we've actually kind of placed some unrealistic expectations on it. Or we might think, well, I want to have this impact, so I got to have it right away. I want to be able to change things really, really fast. And it's not really the way it goes. And if you look back at your, say the career that you're in, it took you a number of years to build that. Now, in my experience, when you are in alignment and you have clarity and you've done the work and you've done, you figured it out, you've been strategic, you've created a plan, it does happen faster. It does happen faster than your first career. You've got all this experience, wisdom, knowledge, skills, that you can easily transfer over. There's going to be it. And even if you don't see it now, trust me, there are. I went from being a CPA to a coach. I don't know how big of a career shift is bigger than that. So, I always use myself as an example. If I can do it, anyone can, honestly, because I don't think I'm just a person, just like everybody else, right? So, we often do want really, really fast results. And if we don't see them, we kind of get discouraged. But the key is just to stick with it. Just remember, we're planting seeds, taking steps. Those steps do lead to fruition. And the path is not usually linear. It doesn't have this nice little, really slow. It's usually a little bit slower to start, and then it starts to go up. It's typically how it works. And so number 5, this one's a huge one. All of them are huge. I feel like I say that a lot, but this one is huge. There are a lot of beliefs that people have created, stories in their heads about why it can't happen, why it won't happen. Something I hear is like, can I really have a career that I love? It's a disbelief around that, disbelief around I can make money at it. There are a lot of limiting beliefs. And in my experience, the longer you sat with this awareness that you need to change, the more those build up over time. And our beliefs, we've had them for a long time. And so they become our truths. They're not so easy to see. You know, this is one of the things I love about being a coach. And also, I'm a person who gets coaching, and this is something I really love, because we don't see our own stuff. We don't see our own limiting beliefs or the things we say. We don't realize it because it just becomes our normal. And so when we can have somebody who's objective, who's trained to, you know, to support in this process, who isn't a friend, because our friends, you know, they've got sort of, I hesitate to use the word agendas, but it's true. Like, I don't want agenda to sound, you know, malicious or evil at all, but you know, they maybe want you to stay the same because they're scared that you might change, or a lot of things going on, right? But when you've got somebody who's objective and who can provide feedback, I'm actually reminded, I was in a coaching call yesterday with a client, and we were really getting to the piece of what he's doing. We think this was our 4th session together. So we laid a lot of foundation on about who he is, and you know, a lot of the pieces we've locked into place. And I noticed he kept saying, but I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. And he said that a number of times in the call. And I said to him, are you okay if I, you know, challenge you on something you're saying? And he's like, sure, we've created a safe space, right? And I said, you know, you might want to shift that, like shift your wording around, I am discovering what it is that I want to do. You know, and he was like, oh, okay. Like he was game and open to it, which is beautiful. But we do these things, and we're all guilty of it, right? We say things, we believe things, and they may not be true. What if it's not true? Let me ask you that. Like, what if that is not true? What if the belief you believe that's holding you back is not actually true? And so typically what does stop people from taking steps is not their abilities. It's not. I am amazed when I talk to people, the things they do, the things they've done, the talents, the skills, the knowledge and experience they have. It's not abilities. It's usually beliefs. And when we can start to, you know, pull back the layers of those beliefs, and we can get to who they really are, that's when the magic really starts to happen. So if you've got lots of beliefs around this, no, again, this is normal, but these do need to be dismantled and pulled apart, and new beliefs created to be able to move forward. And so the 6th and last thing that, you know, qualities that people really experience is this real desire for a better life. To be able to create maybe even better in the world. And that's often also accompanied by an inner struggle that says, am I worth it? Like, why should I have this? Who am I? Everybody else is struggling out there. Like, who am I deserving of a better life or having a career where I am joyful and happy? So it can, that inner struggle can really run deep. So if that is also something you are struggling with, again, this is something I see a lot. But just know that the belief that we're supposed to struggle to make money is just a belief that was created, well, I don't know how many years ago, and we've just all bought into it. But there's also proof of people who make money and who love what they do and who are happy. And so why not you? And the thing is that when we start to take those steps and we actually start to create a life, we become a light for others to do the same. And so if you need to step out and just almost look at yourself, okay, who could I actually be inspiring? If that helps you. I mean, it may not help you. Take it or leave it. But I can guarantee you, if you start taking steps towards creating a better life for yourself, there is somebody who is watching you, and they may never tell you they are watching you. okay? This is so interesting about human nature. There are people who silently watch us and are inspired. And I've mentioned this in previous videos. I get messages from people that say, you know, I've never worked with you. You know, I just wanted to say that I made a career change just because of the content of your posts. And I think that's beautiful. Like I can't explain how that makes me feel. It's very heartwarming. So basically, you know, what that person is telling me is, you've inspired me by your actions. Because my posts are my truth. Like anything I create and put out there, it's me. It's 100% me. I show up who I am. I did make this career change. So if I can inspire somebody else to step more fully into who they are and what they came here to do, well, I think it's just a gift that we all can give the world. Anytime we go after more than what we've had before, there really is a golden opportunity to really lead the way for others to follow suit. So those were the 6 that I came up with. There are a lot more, I can assure you, but those are really just some of the really, really common ones. So again, if you are feeling like, oh my gosh, am I the only person on the planet that's feeling this way? I can assure you you're not. These are really some common feelings, and I do believe this is something that's going to keep gaining more and more momentum as time continues to move on. And this pandemic really has brought to light many things for many people, you know, many parts of their lives that's not in alignment with them anymore. And they're wanting to make a change, and that's a good thing. You know, there's always blessings that come out of hard situations. In the last couple of years, we're starting to see, you know, where people are really going, yeah, actually, it's time. It's time I start stepping into something different for my life, and however that may look for you. So if you have found this video helpful and you think somebody else in your world might also find it valuable, please share. Please also like, subscribe. It helps me get my message out there. You know, there are certainly a lot of people on this, you know, on this planet who are looking to make a change. So yeah, if you think if it's valuable, I would appreciate the support. And again, I will put that guide to the link to my guide down below. And also, once you sign up for the guide, you actually are also in my newsletter. You have to confirm, obviously, your subscription to my newsletter. It'll prompt you for that. But you get my newsletter, and I send that out 1 or 2 times a week, and it's full of, you know, tips, things to think about, you know, sort of value-based content about things you can do to actually help shift your career. You know, and I don't do it more than, say, twice a week, usually tops. So if you think that something might be valuable to you, I encourage you to sign up for that as well. And until next time, I will talk to you soon. Take care.